Hi there. Today I want to take you through another old world building. This is St Albans Cathedral, just north of London. It's one of the oldest, I think, cathedrals in the country. And it's very interesting because there's so many different styles and repairs to this building. It's been repaired multiple times through multiple generations. But it's still an old world building. And all of these buildings, they're very special. To me, this is ancient technology. This is very advanced technology, and there was a purpose to it. And the technology really is in the precision. Look at the precision of this geometry. It's so precise, so elaborate, and pieced together with perfection. There is power in this perfection, the perfect geometry. The closer to perfection you can create it, the more power it will have. But even these geometries, no one can deny they're precise. But the thing is, they're done for a reason. These geometries were selected. They're not just random geometries. The measurements and the proportionality of these geometries is so important. If you're going to go to the trouble of creating these perfect patterns, there must be a reason. It's not just a random design. There is some secret mathematics to this. There's some secret esoteric knowledge to this. And look at all the windows here. Each one is different. So these are also known now to be representing cymatics. A lot of these circular patterns, these archway patterns, represent cymatics, the sound resonance inside the building. But here you can see a different style again, different brickwork, different tower. And here's the main hall. And even along the outside of this main hall, you can see different styles, different brickwork, many different repairs. See here, different brickwork in the middle to the red brick towers at the sides, and the big massive red brick tower at the back. So it does look like the red bricks were very old, and perhaps the sandstone is newer. But whoever built this, the generations that built this, they also knew the secret science, the technology. They knew how to do this. And all this stonework, these can't be carved, they've got to be cast. All these windows, this blockwork is cast and pieced together. It's so perfect, you can't be hand carving it. Every single one of these is measured, it's proportional, and it's precise. And you're going to find a lot of Pythagorean mathematics in here. Very detailed, clever mathematics, but no one has really done any of the analysis. It requires a very detailed analysis and measurement of all these patterns, all these shapes. And here's another old world building just opposite, but very different. This is natural flintstone, all piled together, held together with a sort of concrete. Now here's the front of the cathedral. We've just seen the back. This is the front. But they do say this front facade was a later addition. But if you look at the perfection, even of this so-called later addition, look at the precision. This blockwork is so precise, and it's very abstract. There's no hint of religion here, except there's a cross at the top, but it's not a normal sort of cross. Again, this is a geometric cross. This is esoteric mathematics. This is cymatics. This is numerology. And again, we've got to do detailed analysis of this mathematics to find out what it all means. It will mean something. You're going to find the golden ratio, proportionality in here. You're going to find numerology, numbers of circles, numbers of archways. Again, symbolism, but together with geometry. And look at the precision. Look how fine and thin this stonework is. Each one of these circles is exactly the same. Look at this archway, 5 pillars going into 5 arches, moving into an entrance hall. Everything is so precise. But again, we know that, we can see that, but we haven't done the measurements to find out what the geometry means. There is some meaning to this geometry. And look at this funny pillar in the middle here. Again, it looks like technology, it looks like machinery. And there's the giant doorways. Again, we've got giant doorways with a smaller doorway inside it. So this implies it's built for bigger people. But these are not the original doors. You're going to see the original doors inside different. So again, even though these are not original doors, they were built with great skill. Another generation that also knew the skill. But you'll see inside here very poor restorations and some very good restorations. It's very hard to know what is original. And you've got a wooden roof at the top here. Again, incredibly skillful wooden roof. But you've got these stone archways. So I do wonder if the wooden roof is again later addition. This building is so clearly cast stonework And there you can see the archways at the top, the numerology, bigger archways going to two smaller ones, going to one single one above it. So there are layers to this. These layers represent layers of the cosmos. And look at the precision here, these elaborate angular curved ceilings with a rose pattern inside it. And these rose flower shapes also represent cymatics, three-dimensional cymatics. But look at the straight lines, the perfection of this. You know, how is this done without lasers? And again, it has to be done by cast blockwork. You have to know exactly the angle. You can see the blocks in these archways at the top, these ceilings. They're made of blocks, but they've got to be cast so that every single one can just be put together exactly the same. Now look at this more modern restoration, rendering. Very poor quality, smooth rendering over the top. So there you can see on the left, this is original stonework, and on the right, that poor quality rendering. So many different repairs to this. It's hard to tell what is original. And now you can see also there's some religious parts to this. There's a religious wall here. And this again, very detailed, elaborate stonework, has to be cast. It's too fine. Look at the detail. You can't chisel all that fine work without it falling apart. And it's all the same. And there's the organ. Again, look at the woodwork. And this organ, again, is an incredible feat of engineering. Just the sound, how to create these tubes to create perfect sound. And at the moment, we've got the choir practicing, so have a listen. So that was the best bit of the audio I had. Now look at these. These are the original doors. Look how big they are. There's a small doorway inside a giant doorway with hinges. So again, very big doorways, very big doors for bigger people. And here is the stained glass window. Now this circular shape is again a cymatic pattern, represents the resonant frequency in the building, but this is also a magnetron. This is to do with the magnetic field. This will have a particular effect, creating energy in the building. And this stained glass again has a particular effect. Light coming through this pattern, multicolored pattern, creates particular frequencies, energy inside the hallway. But I suspect that is new stained glass, not the original. Some of these buildings were thought to have crystal, stained glass crystal, quartz crystal in the window. So that would have a very powerful effect. And here you can see, again, new woodwork on the ceiling. I do wonder if that is new or changed a bit. And here you can see changes. This archways have been bricked up and there's new things created. The religion has come into it now. And this is the woodwork. Look at this woodwork. So elaborate, so detailed. Now I suspect this is a combination of real carvings, real wood, but some of these detailed carvings are so precise and they're all identical. It's a precise repeating pattern. It's so identical, I don't think this could be carved. I think some of this minute detailed woodwork is even cast in resin. You could have powdered wood and then cast it in these tiny patterns in resin and then fix it to the actual paneling. So again, look at the detail, how thin this wood is and how precise it is. I think these pieces are cast and then pieced together with real woodwork. The precision is so perfect. It can't be done by hand. It has to be a repeating pattern, and the measurements, again, no one's done the detailed measurements. The measurements are going to mean something. It has to be precise. Now this is a new wall. You can see it's an addition. It's put inside between the arches, and this is clearly religious. This is now Christian. And here's another new wall. You can see it's built inside and on top of one of the old arches. So that's not an original thing to do, but nevertheless, that is very clever building. So even though when they added the religion to it, they still had the knowledge of how to cast in stone. Again, look at the fine detail. All this is cast. These sculptures are cast. And there you can see it's clearly Christian. There's Jesus Christ. So I think these sections were added. And here you can see the wooden roof, and again the other side of the organ. Now this organ, and look at the top of the woodwork here. I couldn't get in close, but the top, this pattern at the top is absolutely precise, repeating pattern, minute detailed carvings, and they repeating identically. The measurement of this woodwork, again, we've got to do precise measurements, very detailed analysis, cannot be hand carved. This has got to be cast in resin, powdered wood in resin. And here's the organ. Again, the precision of this metalwork to create these organ tubes. How did they create these precise metalwork to get exactly the notes? Very detailed, clever engineering. And this is another, the old hallway at the end. And you can see some metalwork, some more woodwork. But again, all additions. You can see here in the archway, this is another addition of stonework and metalwork. But this roof, look at again the precision of the roof. This I think is original. Look, this is all blockwork pieced together. Every single block has to be carved or cast. I think it's all cast to the exact angle, the exact curve, and they have to know how to put these blocks together just right. Every aspect of this building has to be planned in advance. There's got to be detailed plans, detailed mathematical measurements, very, very clever architectural plans, which we don't have. We've never seen any plans. Here you can see the back of this additional religious wall. It's right in the middle of the hallway, bridging across. And inside here, again, this is an ancient piece of woodwork, perhaps the oldest piece of woodwork. They're calling it a shrine. But to me, this looks like the bottom part of one of these towers. Again, a wooden cathedral. And here's more additional walls. Again, it's got to be done with the knowledge of casting stone, but it's right in front of an archway. It doesn't seem like a thing you would do. And you can see that back wall there is in the middle of the windows. And here's more woodwork just put in front of an arch. And a different woodwork, so again, built at another time. But here, look at the woodwork again. Look how fine this repeating pattern is. So detailed, you're not going to be carving this unless you've got a machine. Unless you've got a machine that can carve this identically. But I think this is very clever resin, powdered wood cast in resin, and then pieced together with actual paneling. So we don't know how to do this, and no one says it's we have to take some of this woodwork and analyze it and see if there's resin in there. But some of the smaller detailed work does look darker, does look more solid. You can't see the wood grain in it. But some of it you see wood grain, so it has to be carved, but some you don't. Now again, you can see this wall, and look, it's right in the middle of the windows. They built the wall right in the middle of the windows. That's not a sort of thing that you would originally plan. I think this is a division added. So this is a new addition when the religion came along and added these religious symbolism to it. But nevertheless, extremely skillful stonework. Extremely skillful. We've lost the ability to do this. Fine detailed. And again, even this sculpture here, I think it's all cast and put in place. Because if you were carving this, one mistake, there's the modern one, modern carving, but one little mistake, the whole thing is ruined. So it's got to be cast and pieced together, block by block. And again, wooden doorways. Now again, look at these archways filled in, and then a new, smaller archway added, but again, very clever, well built. Well built. And this whole archway, again, bricked in. Bricked in archways. It doesn't make sense that you would brick them in. There'd be something more going on. And I do wonder in this place if it had a dome or a larger tower on the outside, but there's no sign of it. And again, look at these chairs. Very interesting detailed patterns carved into them. But again, precise, symmetrical. And someone's got to do the measurements. This geometry is very, very precise, and it has a meaning to it. You have to measure it all and measure the proportionality of it to find the meaning. And again, this carving, these little flowers here do look like carvings because they're all different. So this could be hand carving. But some of these pieces, again, this could be drilled out with precision. But again, we've got to do detailed measurements to work out how precise and how repeating the pattern is. And now again, look at this one. The precision of the hallway. On the right, you can see some repairs. When you see the repairs, it's so crude. But again, look at the stained glass window. It's absolutely magical. Now here's the holy water. and there's a tower floating above it. This is a modern tower, a modern building, but it represents the old cathedral-like structures that were used to create this healing water. Again, this is to do with electrostatics. This is to do with the ether, the force. And it's created by this geometry, and the geometry puts power into the water. It structures the water. The whole building was designed to create this energy, structure water, create a healing space. But even on this bowl, there's not really any religious symbols. It's just a little cherubs, little angel faces. But the structure there was a new one. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour. I hope to go back and do some more detailed filming of the woodwork in time. But thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.